Hi guys, I'll talk to you today about changing a flat tyre. A flat tyre is inevitable. You will get one or two or many if you're very unlucky. Unfortunately, in this country, our roads, the UK, are atrocious, and you may find yourself getting lots of flats because our road surface quality is generally really poor. There's lots of potholes everywhere, lots of debris on the roads all the time. So a flat tyre, what can we do about it? So, as I mentioned in another video, a couple of things you're going to need. You're going to need some tyre levers, and you're going to want to have yourself a little mini pump. The procedure is fairly straightforward. However, depending on what tyre you've got on here, it can be really easy, or it can absolutely be a real son of a bitch. I know for a fact that some brands are tougher than others. I had a set of Pirellis that were just damn near impossible to get off, and I also hear that the GP 5000s by Continental are a very tough tyre to get on and off as well. So I'm just going to run you through what you have to do if you're going to flat out on the road. So you've got to flat out on the road. You'll notice a feel in the bike. Hopefully you notice before you go down a great big hill, because otherwise that can be really dangerous. But yeah, so you're going to start off with the valve. Get as much air out as possible, any excess air. You've got a little nut here which holds the valve, stops it rattling around. I'm going to take that off. Tyre levers, you can do it with, most of the time you can do it with one, but you may need two. And with the tyre lever, you just want to get it under the rim. This is difficult to show. So you're going to get it under the rim of the tyre, and it's got a hooked end under the rim of the tyre, and just pry that up like that. You'll see the bead of the tyre come over the metal rim, and you just want to pull that around and then start pulling it either towards you or away from you, and just work your way around, and it will start to come off the rim. Go all the way around the tyre till you've got it off. So you've got it off one side. You get your finger underneath there. Once you've done that, you take the inner tube out. Take the punctured inner tube out, like so, and then just take it all the way out, and that's your punctured inner tube. Now the next step is very important. You don't want to just go whacking another inner tube straight in there, because something that's gone through the tyre may still be in the bead of the tyre. So you want to run your finger around the inside of the bead, checking for any sharp objects that may still be in there, because there's nothing worse than whacking a new inner tube in there and then 10 seconds down the road it goes back down again. And the cause of this, sometimes it can be a pinch flat, but most of the time it's because there's a bit of sharp debris inside the tyre itself. So you just want to run your finger through there and make sure there's nothing sharp in there. Once you've checked all that, you're going to get yourself your new inner tube. You're going to find where the valve hole is. Poking the valve in, and then you just want to work the tyre back round onto the rim. Like so. Just tucking that inside the tyre and back on the rim. Sometimes it's best to have a little bit of air in there, so you can always just pump up a little bit of air in there and help it bed in properly, because it's when it's flat, sometimes you can get a pinch flat. So you want to put a bit of air in there, not much, just enough to get it to hold its own shape. Work your fingers around the rim like that, making sure it's nice and bedded properly, like so. Make sure it's not going to be pinching against the metal rim, and then you want to work your way around and just hook the rim of the tyre back on. As I said, this can be really easy. You can do it with your fingers, or sometimes you need tyre levers to get it back on, and in which case you just sort of hook it over like so. But most of the time you should just be able to get it with your fingers until the end. Until the end it's going to get very tight around the valve here, so you will need to just use the tyre levers to hook it, put it underneath the tyre, the rim of the tyre, and hook it over like so until it's seated, and you'll know it's seated because it snaps back in. Now the next thing, before you start pumping up, you just want to check, just pull the tyre back slightly and just go around and check that the inner tube is seated inside the tyre and it's not underneath the rim, the bead of the tyre, so it's not poking out. Because the trouble is, if you pump it up now, or if it's poking out, you'll pinch it against the side of the metal rim and it will cause a puncture again. So just check all around, making sure. Lovely. Get your little ring, put that back on. It's going to help the valve stay in place. And then using your mini pump, and start pumping it back up. Do a couple of pumps, and then just check again that the tyre is seated correctly. You don't want to rush this. It may be, you may feel like you want to rush this process, but you really don't. Better to do it well once instead of having to do it twice because you rushed it. Again, just checking that the inner tube isn't pinched against the rim. And there we go. Do up the valve and you're back on the road. I hope this helps. See you on the next one.